Welcome to 99 To Beat After the Games with Rob and Ron, where they break down each episode, giving you insights into the games, the contestants, and behind the scenes. Well, there you have it. We are here. This is episode 2 of After the Games. Welcome. I am just the voice. I'm a little helpful host here. Christopher Bruce, you're going to get to know me in a second. But I want to bring in the man, the myth, the legend, the most ridiculous human being I believe to have ever walked the earth. None other than 99 To Beat contestant, good friend, Robert Boudwin. Robert, how you feeling, buddy?
Hey, man, I feel great despite the way I look, and really pumped up to have just watched episode 2 with my twin sons and my girlfriend and her kids. It was great. I'm super excited for this episode. Let's get right into it. I'm the guy out there in this shirt. I'm kind of hard to miss. You see me mulling around like a glorified extra, but in episode 1, I rip off the shirt. But let's not get down to the bare-chested me. Let's give a little shout out to our glorious host there, Ken Jong from But Did You Die? It was a tough experience, but did you die? 6 days a week, 12 to 16-hour days, up to 3 weeks, but we didn't die. We're all here. Let's get into the episode. Let's meet Ronald. Ronald, my co-host. Let's bring Ronald in, Chris.
Hey, how you guys doing tonight? Enjoy the show? Oh, yeah.
Man.
How you doing tonight?
How did you enjoy the show? It looked like you were having a little viewing party of your own there.
Oh, yeah. Had a little viewing party, couple friends and family. It was a great show. Great, like I say, great night. It was really entertaining. I thought it was a good show.
Right on. And you're sipping. What are you sipping there tonight, Ron? You got a Michelob Ultra?
Michelob Ultra.
I'm going to stick with the Mountain Dew tonight. I'll join you for a beer next week. I had one with you last week, but I got some of the medication for the 4-disc spinal fusion surgery that I put off to be on the show, actually, and finally got it done last Thursday. So no driving, and I got to wear this damn thing 24/7 for the next 6 weeks. But let's rock and roll. You ready to meet our guest?
I'm ready to rock and roll. Let's meet our guests.
All right, let's bring him in, man. Who we bringing in first, Chris?
All right, with that, we're going to bring in Reverend Dr. Peter. Peter, how are you? Let's get you in here. Man, good to see you.
Dude, it's good to be seen, man. This is awesome, man. Ronald, what's up, my guy? Robert, what's going on?
Peter Nevins. This and we'll get into it later, but you had a pretty close call in this episode.
Oh, not even gonna lie. This episode had some psychological breakage, bro. I'm not gonna lie. It was nuts.
Yeah, you were over there with that ukulele, like, I'm lonely.
Listen.
It's just me and God. Nobody loves me.
Put that thing away. Put that thing away. I can't handle it right now.
All right. And with that, we're gonna bring in our other guest here today, none other than Kara Lee. She's a day trader, but it's nighttime, so let's get her in. I'm going to get out of the way and let her in. Here we go.
Hello. Hey, guys, how are you?
Hey, how you doing, Miss Lee?
How you doing?
Great.
Who'd you watch the show with tonight? Who'd you watch the show with tonight?
Actually, just a friend that lives closest tonight. Since I knew I had the podcast coming up after, I didn't want anything holding me up or, delaying me too much. We don't need a waiting on a woman type moment just yet.
Yeah, we saw your pretty face there on quite a few shots tonight. Are you having a beverage? Are you joining us?
Yeah, I've got a little Sooner juice in my 99 To Beat bottle.
Oh, that's the water bottle we all got on the show. That was for what? Up to 3 straight weeks. That's all we drank out of.
This water bottle signifies so much more than water. I cannot even express how great the staff was the entire time we were shooting. So that water bottle reminds me how well we were taken care of the whole time. And man, it came in handy when we'd spend so long standing in those hot studios.
It's so true. They really did take good care of us. We had good food, 3 square meals a day. The studio was right next to the hotel. They did the best to make us comfortable. I mean, this is a big production with 100 people. A lot of variables and things happen in a show like that. A prop breaks or whatever. There's a delay. And they did, I think, the best they could possibly do. I mean, Zoltan was on the show last week. We were both in live entertainment most of our careers in the NBA as mascots. And, man, I wish they treated us that well as they treated us on the show. What do y'all think?
Absolutely.
I thought they were incredible, man. Like, as far as tending to everyone's needs and making sure everyone had what was going on. Actually, I mean, even during this episode, we'll talk about it a little bit later, but there's a time where I was like, oh, man, I need some help with something because I'm hitting a wall. And everyone was there getting me what I needed to get. They were outstanding.
Yeah, and a lot of people came to you left and right, Peter. I mean, I felt like every time I turned around where I wasn't trying to ham it up with Zoli for the cameras or something, where I was trying to hide my crying, or frankly, the thing I was trying to do most was not get caught on camera picking my own nose. So it's been a great 2 episodes for me so far. No nose picking and no crying. But every time you were there praying with somebody, whether it was 1 person, 5 people, 10 people. Talk to me a little bit about that. What was that like, trying to compete as a human, as an individual, but then also trying to be a priest?
Dude, I think it's a really, really good question. And I think in a lot of ways, not to get overly serious, but it's just having integrity as a person. Like, am I a whole person? Is a priest something that I do? Is it a job that I have? Or is it like something or someone that I genuinely am, right? And so and I think that people have different conceptions of like what a priest ought to be, whether that's Roman Catholic, I'm an Anglican priest, or whatever. But actually, that's just sort of who I am. So it's kind of cool just to be able to be me in that space. If people wanted to be prayed with, then let's pray. If they don't want to be prayed with, that's cool. That it's not something I'm forcing on anybody. But it was cool to have a space to be able to actually be me, and all of that entails on the competition and be able to be competitive because. Pretty flipping competitive guy too, so it was cool.
Oh, well, on that note, I had to get ready for you, Father. I know it's not Sunday morning, it's the middle of the night in England there, but bless me, Father, for I have sinned. I don't even know, like, we already had some of those moments they clearly didn't show in episode 2, but if I can just let everybody know, it's not really a spoiler. You and I were kind of supporting each other quite a bit. You were supporting everybody. You were supporting me. And we had so many moments where it was like we were being kind of jokers with each other. I was going into one game saying where I was, oh my gosh, Peter, I went into it as an agnostic, but I came out a believer. And you were going right along with it. It was so much fun. We'll talk more about that here in a minute, but I wanted to let you know I was thinking about you over here stateside.
Be careful, buddy. You're gonna be careful. That might migrate to like one of these guys here, not too long. You just never know. God works in mysterious ways.
Man, that shows that you've only known me 6 months. Every single person that's known me my whole life just said bullshit. There's lightning every time I walk into the church.
All right. Before we get ourselves in trouble, let's move on. We're going to get into the games. We've got 5 of them to cover here tonight. And the first one was a fun one. It was kind of a wild one. We had a little bit of laundry out there. So let's take a look at a quick little video package, and then we'll go in and talk about our first game. Oh, man. Robert, looked like you were doing some laundry there for a second.
Man, I'll just start it. That game was both physically intense and mentally intense. Unless you got lucky and found your foot right away, you were kind of frantic and, anxiety-ridden. But then you were bending up and down for upwards of 45 minutes or so. I mean, that exercise is not really meant to be done that long. What did y'all think? Kara, you look like, you and Peter – Ronald and I are on our last legs, man. You and Peter are looking better shape than us. Was it challenging for you physically, mentally? How'd you feel?
I feel like it was an assumption for him to say to start it with a fun game. This was a nightmare for me to look at that pile of clothes. I don't think that anything could have been scarier for me than to look at a pile of clothes like that. I don't even like to shop because I don't like to dig. And to know that my whole existence on the game was going to come down to this, I was not excited.
Right. And it was like a human blender. Before you start it, you're like, okay, I'm going to do this in quadrants. And then within seconds, you realize, no, I'm not. 100 people are stirring these shirts up. And what I just looked at isn't what it is anymore.
Yeah, that's exactly right. I saw Alex's shirt everywhere, but I couldn't find mine anywhere.
Ronald?
Yeah, it was. Well, no. Well, it was a kind of interesting situation because 1,000 shirts on the floor, 100 people are running around, losing their mind, trying to find their shirt, and it was one of those situations where you were debating on whether or not can I find mine, and it was just surreal. The whole situation, the moment, the time, you just trying to figure everything out, and the only thing that I was thinking was, do I have enough time? Am I going to be the last one?
Yeah.
So it was just a surreal moment.
Peter, did you feel panic setting in at all on that one?
Dude, yeah. So like, I hated it. I saw that mound. I was like, this is needle in a haystack. This is going to take forever. This is chance. This isn't skill. This is total luck. Man, and you're right. The physical side of it, the up and the down, and yeah, the filming side of it. The sort of last game we had played was the water bucket challenge, and my team, we went to the final elimination. So I did a lot of like squats, right, like lunges, and then I'm doing another like however many, like 30-45 minutes of like basically lunging or like duck walking around trying to find. And man, Mike, later on that day, like my whole quad was seized up. I was like, oh my gosh, I had to lay on the ground. I had to find one of the medic folks. So I need a banana like right now. You see these things like an NFL game. Somebody's like cramping up, and you're like, all right, you got to cramp. Come on, pal, suck it up and play. Come on, the game. The next play is about to happen. But
I'm glad to hear you saying this because, like, you're a string bean and you're in shape. I mean, people would look at it and be like, yeah, you had trouble, fatso, because you're out of shape. You can't bend up and bend down, but it was just hard. I don't care how good shape you were in. Unless you got lucky early on, and you don't really get the sense in the show because they boil it down. They have to, the 4 or 5 minutes. But that went on for almost an hour, right? I brought a few of the shirts back that I found there. Boys, pay attention. I'm going to dock your pay. Sometimes you just need $1 million. And we'll get into this next game after we finish talking about this. I'll be wearing this one tomorrow. These nuts. I'm talking about these nuts, guys. Relax. Anybody have anything else to add on the T-shirt game?
No.
Peter, you just showed your shirt. Is that the actual shirt you found from the show?
Yeah, dude, this is my actual legit shirt. Yeah, this is the one, baby. And I think I was like one of the last like 12 or 13 to find it. This is gonna stay with me for a while. It's way too big. It's fine, but
I mean, they told us all that we could keep those. Now I'm gonna put you on blast, Peter. So strap in and get ready. At that point, they said we could keep those shirts. Did you pocket anything else from any of the games as souvenirs, as a remembrance?
I got that lay opening game. You know what I'm talking about.
Come on, man. Round the horn. Everybody pocketed stuff, right? I mean, I certainly wasn't trying to take anything of value, but I wanted a paper clip or a rubber band or something that was cheap just because I wanted to be like the rest of my life. This is the game. This is the paper clip I played this game with, or the piece of rope. Ronald, what about you guys?
I don't know if you paid attention to the outfit that I wear for the show, but I pocketed very little because very little could be fit in my pockets to make it out. So,
what are you talking about, Kara? I haven't noticed anything. I am definitely looking at your eyes. Just your eyes. Forgive me, Father. I have sinned, and I am sinning right now. I am not looking at her eyes. Oh, say that again, Ronald. I think. Do we have Ronald? Do we have your audio?
Oh no.
He's
Oh, no.
muted.
Can we hear it?
Yeah,
Ronald, I can't hear you. I think
Can
it was
you
when
hear me?
You might have knocked something
There
loose.
you go.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can
I
hear
was
you.
able to come away with a couple key things. This is the actual fork that caught the winning potato.
Oh, nice.
Ooh.
Have you eaten with it at home yet, or you just got it up on like a mantle?
Not yet. It's just sitting. It's just sitting, waiting for the next time to go in glory.
So, Kara, I know you were making a joke there, a good one. It's a joke that I especially like because it's about two things. You know what I meant. Do you have a souvenir from the games that you were like, oh, yeah, this is a favorite artifact, so to speak, of mine from the game?
The items that were able to be confiscated are not able to be seen in this episode.
I got it. Thank you for no spoilers and honoring the spirit of the games. And we can talk about some of those things in future episodes.
That's right. Yeah.
Chris, what's
All
next?
right, yeah, I was going to say, with that, we're going to move on to our next game. This one looked like a really tough one, but let's look at the video package and then we can get right into it. Here it is, game number 2.
Folks, this is an easy one for you to try at home. It costs you about $2 at Home Depot or any Ace Hardware or whatever.
You
Or
do this,
Lowe's or whoever.
any family reunion. I can't imagine. There's got to be offices and all kinds of family reunions trying this one at home right now after watching that on the show. This looked really tough for sure. And if you didn't have a steady hand, you had to be struggling. I can't wait to hear what you guys have to say.
I mean, no doubt. If you see me, if you're getting surgery and you see me come in as your doctor, get up and run the hell out of there. Because I learned very quickly, I do not have a steady hand. And that game almost broke me. Right after T-shirts, like Kara was saying, that mentally fried you. Then this game came in and mentally fried you too. Not physically, but mentally. How did y'all do on this one? Peter, I think you struggled on this one, right?
A little bit. I think my stack fell a few times, but I was in the sort of in the thick bit of the bell curve. The thing is, like, you got a chopstick, right? And you go in and it starts to all shake a little bit. And the longer you go, the more tired, like, all your fine motor skill muscles get. And just the more you shake and you shake and you shake and you shake, it's the longer you go, the worse it is for you. So the best thing you can do is like try to knock this thing out quick.
Ronald, did you change strategies at all, or did you stick with the same thing that you did from the get-go?
You mean to tell you, in that event, I do a lot of mechanical stuff with cars or whatever. I got lucky because the first nut I picked up, I noticed on the chopstick it swung to the dead spot. And I said, oh, these nuts, okay, it's a little bit heavier in a certain spot. So every nut I picked up, I waited for it to swing to that dead spot, and then I stacked it. And that helped me out tremendously because it took away the shake to everything, because I was looking like, okay, as long as it swings to the point where it's heavier, now I know I can set it. So it helped me a little bit, but it still was the pressure of the game. You seeing people going in and out faster than you is a mental, like I say, it was a complete mind game. I mean, you had to know how to settle yourself and try to stay within the game and try to finish it.
Ronald, it sounds like you're a nut ninja.
I thought
I don't know about that. I just got lucky. The very first one I picked up, as soon as I picked it up, I saw it spin. And I said, oh, it's got a dead spot in it. So every nut I picked up after that, I waited for it to spin to that spot. And then I started stacking them.
Kara, I felt like these 2 games in a row, I was going home. I was convinced I was going home on T-shirts. I was convinced I was going home on Nutstacker. I did not feel that way on every game. I felt pretty confident on some others. How did you feel on Nutstacker after the T-shirt experience?
I don't know about it being my experience with nuts or not, but this was one of my best games up to that point. I had stressed out entirely over the T-shirt game, thinking how embarrassing it'd be if I went home over not being able to find my name. But I grew up in the garage with my dad, so when it even got announced, I was hyped. I don't even think I got a shot in the cameras during that game because I finished pretty quickly, not first, but pretty quickly after Sarah. So, no, this one, I was here for it.
You had thoughts of your dad, but also, did you realize you had such a steady hand beforehand, or did you kind of find that out about yourself in the game?
I always say it's mind over muscle. So because I came at it knowing that it had to be steady, I had greatly improved my steadiness past the pasta game because that one was my steady struggle. But I was better with my hand than I was my mouth.
Yeah. Hey, Chris, I wanted to do this really quick because this is a very special show for me personally. This is Ronald and I hosting, and I wanted to write this down so I didn't mess it up. This is a special episode for me personally, as the three of you who I consider to be the friends I made the best friends with on the show. Peter, Ron, and Kara, thank you for being on the show, but more importantly, thank you for what I'm sure will be lifelong friendships. I had to write that down because I knew. And I mean it. Ron and Kara, we spent our days off with each other in London. Peter, we spent so much personal time talking about God and my struggles with faith, and in our personal rooms back at the hotel and on downtime in the green room. And I just, I'm so thankful that, yeah, you guys get it.
Big love, homie.
Ron.
Big love. You know how we roll.
Yeah.
I love you guys.
Love you, Robert.
Sure.
Hey, Robert, listen, I'm glad that you were able to share that. And that's one of the beautiful things that looked like, at least from watching the show, as somebody that wasn't, a contestant, you see these, what seem to be very quick friendships that are forming on the show. It's a lot of fun to see those bonds that are forming, and in talking to you and seeing that's got to be what is like the extra bonus, the benefit, the gravy on top that maybe you didn't expect going in.
Oh, man, Ronald Mitchell, Ronald M.F. Mitchell, co-host of this show, said to me, man, when we were all leaving, and we don't know when that was, but when we were all leaving, he said, man, I'm never going to forget you the rest of my life. And I said, Ronald, we have each other's cell phones. You're not going to get to forget me.
Like you had a choice.
Right. I mean, we went into London. Peter, you would have been with us, but you were rolling with your family. And I should note, because we mentioned we shot in London. For anybody out there, it's no big secret because all of us were posting pics on social media on our days off in London, Big Ben and all that. They shoot a lot of shows over there. We shot in the Apple studios, or the former Apple studios, where Ted Lasso and Severance and all those shows were shot. So that was pretty cool. And I think some people came for a free vacation. Some came for a wild experience. Some came for $1 million. I don't know. What'd you guys think? What'd you come for personally? Kara, why did you do this?
Honestly, it's wild that I came on the show at all, for the fact that it had been probably 4 or 5 years since I'd even watched TV. So I was completely out of my element and had applied for a show way back then. So when I saw and had the opportunity to play in a game show that was nothing but games of randomness, my first statement was this TV show was made for me if I was ever going to be on one. So I came just because I love people and I love the idea of something so silly. But man, my eyes were opened to what it is to even be part of something like this, and the impact that it will have on my life forever, because I was one of those people that would just say, oh, it's over dramatized, or, oh, it doesn't really happen that way, or whatever the case may be. But it was an incredible experience that I said from the very start, everybody was a winner. And man, I came on the show to have fun, and I had a ton of fun.
100%. And I mean, for anybody at home that thinks, oh, maybe they steer these things, they do not. At least at this one, is my only experience. They didn't steer crap, man. It was a legit, there were lawyers there, referees all over the place. This was a legit competition, and the intensity shows through. Treat me like I'm stupid, because I am, Kara. Why is a day trader living in Oklahoma City? Don't you work in New York City, day traders? Explain it to us real quick, a little bit of what your background is in your profession.
No.
Yeah, I know, son. I'm playing stupid on purpose. I got my 16-year-old shaking his head at me like I'm stupid back here. It's called performing, man.
Right. No, from the time I was little, I even said I would love to be a day trader, but could not live in New York City, as fun as it is. And in fact, I like to live in Oklahoma only because it is a lower cost of living so I can travel more places. And so day trading online is nice. I can do it from anywhere, whether it
Did
be
you work
Oklahoma
while you were
or
in
not.
London? Did you
I'm
work
sorry?
while you were on the Did you work while you were on the show during
No,
downtime?
no. And that was actually kind of like a back piece that I appreciated for myself in the moment, in that once I started day trading full time, that was the first lengthy amount of time that I really took away from the market. So it was a good readjustment to remember that the whole point in day trading is for freedom to me. So the freedom of time and being able to do and go through an experience like this. So to step away from the charts and to get reintegrated with people in such an amazing way was, man, more than I could have ever asked for.
I think you have the same sickness I have, the workaholic sickness. You do it for the freedom, but then at the same time, you're the only person that tells you got to stop working, and then
Right.
you don't.
Yeah.
So this kind of forced you. They took our phones, and we only got them at the end of the day. But shit, we're all exhausted at that point and want to go to sleep.
Right.
Peter, tell us a little bit about, you are from where in the States specifically? How long have you lived in England? Tell us about the denomination, and do you preach? Where can we see your preachings? Can we see them?
Man, come on. Yeah, so born and raised on the north side of Indianapolis. That's my hometown, man. Go Colts. Let's go. Come on, we got Indiana Jones. Danny Dimes is
Go
back.
Birds.
Let's see what we
Shut
can
up,
do.
Peter.
But so that's where I was born and raised. But yeah,
Sorry, go ahead, priest.
Yeah, wrong podcast, Peter. Wrong podcast. Keep it focused. Here we go.
So, I've been living in Surrey, England for like the last 14 years. I'm an Anglican priest, so I'm in the Church of England, and I've got a parish church. And I do Christian ministry, man. That's just what my life is dedicated to, and that's what I do day in, day out. Now, the church provides my housing. It's a sort of convoluted thing the way it works, but like if I wasn't the priest of my parish, I wouldn't have a property to live in. So my wife and I are like, it'd probably be a good idea if we had a property, just like retirement and just security and stuff like that. And so my wife actually came across the advertisement about like this game show. She's like, we're trying to get a mortgage, you get the down payment. So you just go on this game show. And I was like, I don't have time. She's like, just do it. I was like, fine. One thing leads to another. And here I am on 99 The Beat, man.
I mean, folks, you got to check out Peter preaching. I'll tell you, when I first kind of started to fall out with religion, was not over the philosophies and the dogma. It was as a young kid, because it was this. Yeah, because it's a little bit dry, and Peter is not. He says things like broski and homie from the pulpit. So he is not your average priest. He's got sleeves, the tattoos there. I kept saying, hey, he's just not talking about Jesus. He's Jesus's doppelganger. He looks just like him.
Fake it till you make it, baby. Fake it till you make it.
Chris, can we put Peter's links to places to watch his sermons? I've watched several of them. I enjoy them, and I'm agnostic, aspiring to believe, but agnostic, as you know. Ronald, tell us a little about, you being a firefighter for those tuning in the first time, and, what brought you to this show.
Well, actually, a friend of mine, Darnell Clayton, he told me about the show. We applied, we got interviewed, and after talking to him, I said, hey, why don't we give this a try? I mean, I've been on the fire department 30 years. I'm looking for something. I'm at a different stage of my life. I'm coming up to retirement, and I thought it'd be a great experience. I said, how many times can I go to London, compete against 100 people I've never met? There's a bunch of crazy games, crazy times. And, I just looked at it like, hey, one last challenge, or one of the last challenges before I finally hang it up and retire and go ahead and just, hey, move on to the country and live a different life. So it was a great experience. I met a great.
Come on.
Tell everybody your line that you said to me in the bar that I just kept cracking up on, about how some people got overly upset when they got knocked out. Your line about the lottery.
Yeah. I mean, in my opinion, we all won. I said, how can you be upset if you play the lottery and don't win? I mean, we here, we enjoy in London. I'm meeting different people. I mean, a great experience. I said, we all winners. I said, I mean, hey, ultimately, I would like to win, but hey, the experience, this is something I'll cherish for the rest of my life. I mean, I met
100%.
great people, had great times.
You had so many
I
good
mean,
one-liners.
how can you go wrong?
When we were in the bar and you said that, I used it on camera like the next day. I stole that. I was like, that's comedy gold. He said, smooth criminal, cool cucumber style. Like, I don't know. It's like playing the lottery and you don't win. And then you get mad that you don't win the lottery. I mean, next game. We got the potato game.
All right. Yeah. With that, we're going to move on to the next game, which, you know what? I saw some people struggling with this one. This is one to me that felt like it would have been a little bit easier than some, but let's take a look at the package and then we can get right into what made this game work or not work for some.
I want to clarify what I said there. Bethany was next to me with the blue hair in the circle. And, I think some people, they weren't necessarily reacting to their lack of a shot at $1 million anymore. They made such good friends already. They didn't want to leave them. They didn't want to depart the experience, the shared experience. So it wasn't all just, I just don't want to be misunderstood. And I especially, she took it hard leaving the show. She was right next to me and she was such a sweetheart in the circle. And I'm an old man. I didn't even know what cosplay was like that. I dress up to go to the movies with my kids, but she was explaining to me all about it. And, so let's get into that potato game. How did you guys do? Who'd you partner up with? Ronald, start.
Well, I partnered up with the guy I came with, Darnell. We talked about it. We had good rapport. We played sports together. We thought it would be a relatively easy game, but it was a little bit harder than we thought. But, hey, we pulled it out, and we were able to advance. But it was a bunch of, great competition, great people, and it was something to see.
Did you get worried at all? Or were you like, hey, it's not as easy as we thought, but we're going to make it?
Oh, we got through it fairly quickly, but at a certain point, we were a little worried about it.
Yeah. How about you, Kara?
I actually ended up teaming up. I teamed up with Seth, the one dressed as a professor, and we were hyped because I'm a fill-in catcher, like for just a little beer league of softball, co-ed softball, and he plays 100 games a year as a pitcher. So we're like, oh, we got it in the bag.
Pitcher.
And we did make connection on everyone, but he was pitching those potatoes. So for sure,
in there.
I couldn't actually get it to stay on because they were coming at such high speeds. We didn't even realize it. And we ended up in the bottom two. And I'm like, give me more loft. I got to have air something. And, because we had predicament was fine. But yeah, it was
close call
to it that make it harder than it sounds and looks.
Peter, when you got out there, were you surprised that I just thought they're raw? They weren't raw. Remember? The potatoes, some of them were partially boiled and a little soft. And so when they came in, if they came in hot at all and not on a big arc, if they came in a little bit straight, those things fractured and split in half.
I was just tossing them, man. Me and Kevin McAllister, K-Mac, not the guy from the film, but like Kevin McAllister, dude with the bandana. He was my homie too. And man, I was tossing all about the technique, man, which way the prongs face, and that's critical junk. And I wasn't thinking about anything other than trying to get a nice gentle loft on that bad boy. Let him settle that thing in, and let's get to the safe zone, man.
Yeah, you were about pretty. You brought up Kevin McAllister. You know who I got a little bit starstruck for, and that doesn't happen to me often, having been in the NBA and meeting all kinds. But I was sitting there with Nico having breakfast on the last day of one of the days, and I'm just sitting there shooting the shit with him, and all of a sudden it comes up, and he was the little kid in Kindergarten Cop that says to Arnold Schwarzenegger, he stands up out of nowhere and says, "Boys have penises, girls have vaginas," and I'm like, holy shit, I'm old. This is a grown man. I saw that movie as an adult. And then I was like, can I get a video with you saying that? What were any of your moments where you're like, oh my gosh, was it the Yellow Power Ranger? Was it, Kara and Ronald, Peter? Like, was there anybody else there that you were like, oh, that's pretty cool? You do that for a living?
Well, like I said, since I didn't watch a ton of TV the leading years right up into it, there was a ton that I was surprised by at all that I either didn't know or found out, whatever the case. But for sure, Sierra being the Yellow Power Ranger in my trading group, it's like been a joke from the time I started trading. The main guy that's originated my trading group posts nothing but 90s stuff all the time and just blows his page up with Power Ranger this, Power Ranger that. So it's been like infiltrated my life more than when it originated, and then yet the last 5 years. So when I met her, and the fact that she's amazing, who would have thought that somebody I'm gonna, how is that even gonna work out? But yeah, for sure.
Nice.
I had to give my Power Ranger pose with her. She was it for me.
And she wore yellow, which was smart, right?
Yes, right.
Yeah, it was, and she was super sweet. I mean, there's a few people that will go unmentioned, maybe weren't so nice. And I saw a couple of those people that I'm thinking about acting with fake empathy tonight. And that really pisses me off. But I'm not going to say their names. When I see people getting into shots going, oh, man, I know who you are. And we all know who you are. You ain't like that in real life. Sorry, Ronald, did you get starstruck at all?
You know what? I never got starstruck. I was just more into like people's story. Like, when I met Peter and he talked about, moving from Indianapolis to England and starting his church and becoming a priest. And to me, that was more fascinating. I mean, it was cool meeting, all the other people who did certain things, but I was more intrigued with just how people turn what we would consider a normal life into something a little bit more. I mean, just people trying to reach out and touch people on a bigger scale. So I thought everybody was cool. It was an amazing cast. We had so many different, it was so diverse. I mean, you could sit here and talk to, like I said before, like you talk to a mascot for the Houston Rockets, and then on the other hand, you meet the Yellow Power Ranger. Then, 5 minutes later, you meet somebody, a day trader who's teaching you different things about stocks. And it was such an eclectic group of people. I mean, it was almost like a sensory overload. I mean, you couldn't really take it all in because it was so many different people.
Yeah, everything across the board. Area of the country lived in, sexual orientation, everything. It was the most diverse group of people I've ever been part of. Peter, I'm not even going to ask you if you're starstruck. You're best friends with God. And it doesn't get any bigger of a star than that. What do you think, Peter, about the dynamic of this game that we're first introduced to, where two people are partners, they're team members, and then they're adversaries? And then it's, if you're the last two, now you're against each other. How was that dynamic when you were like, oh?
Yeah, I think, man, the social, for me, like social dynamics are a huge aspect of my life and my work. And the social dynamics on the game, the games, plural, it was really profound. And it's a big deal because you watch these game shows and people get eliminated. Like, just met so many amazing people. You're like, shut up, they're just a bunch of normal people. It's really not that interesting. You're just hyping it up because it's on TV. Actually, they really are. Like what's just been said by Ronald and Kara, like she's some really fascinating people. And there was some, like, what they say, I can't, like, some like over 50,000 applicants for the show, and that was a low number because it's first season. And these are the 100 people that someone or some group of people says, I think people will watch them on TV. Like, that's a fascinating group of people, and it absolutely was. And then when you're partnering and you're collaborating, you're working together, and then you're like, yo, it's either them or me, and it's competition time, dude. It's legit crazy.
Yeah. That's 1 in 500 people that get it. That's 0.2%. Yeah, that's right, Kara. I'm trying to do calculator head against you, you day trader. Let's get on to the next game.
All right,
Yeah,
so
get out your calculator.
While we kind of put the smoke out that's coming out of Robert's ears right now, overthinking, we wanted to, before we go into the next two games, the last two games from this episode, I wanted to bring up a little something about the host, right? When you think about, you got Ken and Aaron, you guys probably got to know them really well. They seemed like they were really invested, that they were kind of really great to work with. I would just love to hear your take on what it was like to work with these two, huge stars, and what you guys have to say about them.
Yeah, go ahead, Ronald. Why don't you take this one? What'd you
I
think?
mean, I couldn't ask for better hosts. I mean, they were both very engaging. They seemed to have empathy for the contestants. They wanted to know our stories. They were interactive. I mean, I was thinking, I've never met these guys before, but they were really engaging, and they really wanted to know how we felt, and they really were encouraging us throughout the whole process of the show. I thought they were great.
I agree. Honestly, I didn't know who Aaron Andrews was. I'm sorry, Aaron. I'm not a sports fan. I know that sounds weird coming from a professional basketball mascot for 21 years, but I don't like watching sports. I like playing them. I don't like watching them. That's like watching other people have fun. Boo. I like theater. I like TV, movies, good stuff. But Ken Jeong, oh man, all I wanted was a picture with him. Oh, there it is, right back there. I mean, that's Chow from Hangover. I took every bit of self-control I had just to not yell out at all times. Please say, suck at these Chinese nuts! Suck at these Chinese nuts! Oh, and I just kept thinking of Gary Bush from The Hangover. Sorry, guys, it's true. You're all thinking it, but we loved you, Ken. You were awesome, and I couldn't agree with Ronald more there. On and off camera, you weren't just shutting it off when you got off camera. You were chatting us up. You were seeing that we were tired, exhausted, and you were trying to help us, both of you. And Aaron, I didn't know sports beforehand, but what a sweetheart. So nice. Obviously so beautiful. You too, Ken. You're real beautiful. What did you guys think, Peter, Kara? What were your experiences with the host? Did you have any moments with them? Did you get to talk to them directly?
So, like, I mean, I've known about Erin Andrews for a while because I watched the NFL, and she's been a sideline reporter for quite a while. Not does more than that. I don't mean to diminish her role, but that's how I first encountered her. She's awesome, and she's held the mic to however many game winners, over however many years. She's interviewed some of the people. I'd be like, yo, you got to sit on the sideline after the game and hold the mic, or at halftime and hold the mic to that guy, to like a Brady or Mahomes or whoever else. Like, so I was pretty like, whoa, Aaron Andrews is involved in this. And then when I told my kids Ken Jeong was involved, they thought like, oh, Dad's going to be on a game show, whatever, And then I was like, yeah, Ken Jeong is hosting. Like, whoa, from Community, because my kids love Community, and he's Professor Chang, and he's hilarious. And there's this one character called Magnitude, always goes pop pop. And so after one game, I looked up at Ken, I went pop, and he goes pop pop. And it was great. I told my kids that we had this moment of Magnitude from Community going, pop, pop. It was great. Awesome.
Kids knowing him from Community. This is my son, one of my twin 16-year-old sons, Luke. Luke, when you think of Ken Jeong, what do you think of first?
The Hangover.
Hangover? Yeah, that's because you're my son. What do you think of second? Hangover 2. Get out of here, man. Go to bed. How was your experience with the host?
Man, I love them. I agree with everything you guys just said. And beyond that, I too obviously knew who Erin Andrews is because as a female that likes sports and whatnot is one thing, but for her to be killing the game the way she is and just always being something like that as a woman, you always just recognize the type of thing. But for real, I was probably just as excited to hear Ken was on the show as it was when I learned that I was on the show. Really? I was hyped. So yeah, and they exceeded all my expectations.
Erin was funny too. She had that one line that we all fell out on when she said, when I'm done this show, I'm going to burn this dress forever. And we were all like, amen, sister. We want to burn these clothes too.
Yes. But no, and I love just their demeanor. Their dynamic together was great because as they'd come down, she would embody herself and enjoy just like the goofiness of that. You know, it's just like you said, come out every day. How tired are you today? That, you know, everything about it was just so much fun, and it's intelligent humor is my personal favorite. So, like I said, there was not one negative thing I could have taken away from any aspect of the show. It was made for me, I promise.
Yeah, and we all wore the same thing every day. And if you were in the show a long time, that's, you know, you wore the same thing. You had to bring 3 shirts, 3 pairs of pants, 3 pairs of shoes, 3 pairs of eyeglasses, down to jewelry. So I think a lot of us didn't want to wear this. How does it feel to be back in these threads now, folks? And then we'll get on to the next game.
Oh,
What are you talking about, bro?
It's bittersweet. It's bittersweet.
I've just been wearing mine every day, hoping to get some fan club. I don't know. Fan club's got to start somewhere. They got to know who I am.
Oh, man. I got a whole family here, Kara. Otherwise, I'd move to OKC. You know what I'm saying? If you're wearing that every day, I got to make some new life choices. OKC. Peter, that was comedy gold. Bro.
Peter, I have to give you that was good, man, for sure. Now, it sounds like we need to get Ken and Aaron on the show here, Robert. So maybe we should make some calls and reach out to them. I think it'd be great to get their take on it, get their insight to kind of learn a little bit about what their experience was like.
We should get Ken or Aaron on the show, or both of them?
Absolutely.
Hey, you know what, Peter? Say us a prayer. Say a prayer for us to God right now, please, for Ken and Aaron.
Heavenly Father, Ken and Andrew, that'd be fantastic. I think Round Lord.
Well, I think we should definitely try to make it happen. It'd be great to have them on. I'd love to get their take on things and be able to share that with the folks. But with that, let's get into the next game, which was the blind band game. That was really interesting to watch. I have to say, this one seemed like another one of those chance games when you're relying on a group. It gets a little tricky. So take a look at this package. We'll get right into it here in just a second.
There, shout out.
I love that shot of Zoli grabbing the drum. That's just such a classic moment. Zoli had a couple really good moments. This is selfish. Shout out to our boy Zoli. The front flip into the t-shirts. If you didn't see that, that was epic. He had the one line there consoling the contestant. He had a lot of great moments. Zoli,
he was truly the entertainer for the 100 of us. He was butt scooting. He was handstanding. He was worming. He was popping up, you know, a martial arts style from his back. I mean, we were all kind of like struggling at times, like exhausted. We'd look over at him and he'd be going hard. Am I right?
That's real.
Yeah. I mean, he looked stupid there with his big, dumb, bald head and his blindfold on, feeling a drum for like 15 minutes to figure out what it was, the dummy. But he's an awesome, smart guy.
He was just making sure, let's be honest. So tell us about that game. Definitely the group games have a different kind of dynamic because you're relying on a bunch of other people, right?
Yeah, jump in, Karen. What was a big group game like that, especially that one where you were blind group? You didn't know who was on your team.
Well, that one in particular, I believe I've never seen once because I think I ran into every single judge or referee that was on the outside because I kept thinking if I listened from behind that I'd do a better job. But I probably held my team up because I was not anywhere in any of those groups. But as I would be listening for mine, I would play because I had I don't even know what it's called. This one that you'd have to play outward.
Cymbals.
The what?
Cymbals.
No, it was just the accordion. Yes, it was the accordion.
Weird Al Yankovic.
Yeah, so I would play it really fast, and then I would stop and like listen for the same thing, and then we ended up, I think, in 2 groups that were like equal because as soon as one connection happened, we were able to take off. But we're not seeing in any of that because thank God we were one of the teams that technically only had to hold it by one hand.
Yeah, I felt useless in that game. That was the game I felt like I don't know if I'm going to get out. I don't know if I'm going to make it, but I feel useless. And I was shooting blind. What about you guys, Ron, Peter?
Oh, yeah. It was one of those games. I mean, that was one of the games where I was thinking to myself, I was like, well, actually, me and Peter we were together in that game. And I don't know how you felt, but I felt like, I don't know. This is not looking good. I mean, I couldn't hear anything. I couldn't see anything. And I'm just like, I'm hoping we get together and find each other so we can get out of this. But it was definitely a very weird experience because you couldn't hear, you couldn't see. All you heard was instruments playing at the same time, and you just hoping for the best. I mean, that was one of the games that I've had.
Everybody on this episode kind of has a good sense of humor about themselves, and they kind of laugh at themselves when we're struggling. Peter, I didn't realize until tonight, until an hour ago, that you were struggling that much and you were that alone. Was panic setting in, or what were you feeling?
Man, panic. As soon as they put the ukulele in my hands, I was like, I cussed in my head and tried not to cuss out loud. Like, I was like, this is the worst. This is the absolute worst. This is a quiet instrument. I've listened to too much rock and roll in my headphones. Like, I can't hear great. This is, I think I'm done, like, from the outset. And sure enough, like, everyone starts playing, and you got the slide whistle and the cymbals and the drums and the accordion. I'm like, dude, this is like a police car chasing a fire engine, chasing an ambulance, in a rock concert, in a football game. Like, I can't distinguish anything. I'm freaking out. I'm like trying to, I'm completely lost. I'm like the one sheep and there's the 99 altogether. I'm just hoping someone's gonna find me. Man, it was rough.
Intense. It was intense. And I see that, I get it. You're a priest. You don't curse. So in the case of Ronald M.F. Mitchell, Peter, what does the MF stand for then?
Mufasa, because he's like the king of the Detroit Fire Department, right?
Mufasa? Or
yeah, right.
Frickin'. You say frickin' a lot. You say frickin'. I hear you say it. Homie, broski, and frickin'. It's cool. I know what's being said in your head, though.
Yeah.
I might be aware. I might be aware.
Yeah, I'm telling you, it was a wild experience.
Again, you had the accordion?
The accordion, yes.
Were you guys in the safe zone quick, or
we were like dead in the middle? Like, we were just safe enough that right before the end for the last two struggling, we were finished like just prior to them.
The thing I thought about that game was it was hard to tell from the broadcast how tenuous it was to set up your music stand. It was more about you saw it as the viewer, and Chris, you can chime in here. As the viewer, I think you saw it as, you just got to find the people. But once you found them, you then had to put up a music stand that was a little bit nerve-wracking, and some of it came down to that. Right. Chris, how did you feel as a spectator?
Yeah, I mean, that was an interesting element. I guess at first you didn't realize, you thought, okay, because the way the games had played up to that point, once the group got together and they went off, that was the safe zone. But then they added that extra layer where you had to set up the stands, get the sheet music and everything in place. And Ronald, you had a nice little line there when you kind of, very, very fireman of you to kind of direct them and say, all right, everybody, let's just get our stands together. And it was like a very clear order in a moment of chaos that probably helped your team, because you guys were kind of, in the fire, so to speak, right there with the teams kind of chomping on the heels a little bit. So that was kind of cool.
By the way, the game recap is brought to you by my hospital that did my surgery last week on Thursday. And this is my water jug that I had to drink out of so that I would not get impacted. If you don't know what impacted means, that means you have too much poop inside your belly that's not coming out, and you have to go back into the hospital if you don't poop. And then they put you on a whole bunch of stool softeners and a whole bunch of laxatives. And it worked. Thank you, hospital.
Yeah, to make sure we go in for the close-up for that commercial, Robert. That was nice. So I did think that blind band challenge was a really interesting one. It ended up being, I could just imagine that depending on the instrument you had, that had to make a difference. If you had spy training and you could like differentiate all kinds of noises, then you were in luck. But other than that, it had to be a mess.
Yeah, I mean, I was useless for that. I think we were all just kind of blind, and it was dumb luck sometimes.
Yeah.
It was just sensory overload. I mean, it was so much going on. It was so much at one. It was pure luck. I mean,
that one felt like it had to be more than some of the other games. A big time relief just to get through. You're like, I don't even know what just happened. I'm just glad I'm moving on.
That's how I felt about it exactly. I don't know what just happened, but I'm glad it's over.
What is that? I know we were about 6 minutes to go or so. What's that last game?
So the last game was the rubber band and the balloon. But hey, let's take a look at it real quick and we can get right into it. So for me,
figured out how to do this game better.
Well, a bigger balloon, I guess.
Yeah, you just get a bigger balloon and do it like that.
So I have to ask you guys real quick. Just, I was surprised that nobody sort of strung the balloon up like a rubber band gun. Do you guys not know that technique?
We tried it. Listen, you want to be on the show? Or you want
I was like, oh, this is an easy one. I had too much time. Listen, only child, a lot of downtime doing things like this. I was like, oh man, that's an easy one.
Peter, call God and give him the gout or something.
I've got enough problems. I'm good.
I mean, you know what? Everything you think.
Sorry, Ronald.
I mean, everything you think is easy and you think you can do it until the moment. And you sitting here in the back of your mind, I got $1 million on the line. I can't come in last. And it's just a complete mind game. It's interesting how when you get inside your head, how much harder you can make something that seems easy. It's just interesting how hard it really becomes, because you see people every 5 seconds, he's out. And then you think of yourself, am I going to be last? So it's definitely a mind game. You got to learn how to work within your mind and try to figure it out.
No way anybody doesn't get into their own head on many of these games, if not all. I mean, it just creeps in.
Yeah.
What did y'all think, Peter, Kara? Peter, you struggled a little bit on this one that I just saw tonight, and I didn't realize that.
Did. And I was all about that, that finger gun kind of thing, but then I realized the amount of stretch on the rubber band from your pointer finger to your pinky is not enough to create the velocity you had to get like a good bit of velocity. Dude, I struggled with it, not because I've never shot a rubber band from the back of the class when the teacher wasn't paying attention. I just struggled, man. And it's all technique. All of these games are like 1 part skill, 2 parts luck, which is great because anyone can win and anyone can lose. So keep watching, because the person you think, oh man, they're pretty dope, they know what's going on, there's enough luck involved. And especially with the team games, you can't just say, actually, you know what's going on, so you're probably going to do well. Anyone can win. Anyone can lose at any point in time. And that game was just a case in point, man. Like, just getting that rubber band and getting it on that balloon in the right time at the right place. Dude, it's crazy.
Kara, we didn't talk about any of the people that got knocked out. Did you get to know Jackie at all?
I wasn't very close with Jackie. Well, and honestly, by this point, being the second episode, I did feel the worst for the people that got out so quickly, because the bonds that were formed, yes, but it was mostly with the ones that they were either closest with in the circle or that they had traveled with and that sort of thing, because we were still working on our way out.
So many people. Jackie's going to be on show number 4, along with Janice, who got knocked out first, and along with Sarah Kay, who does the what are those cartwheels called in the pink dress? So Jackie, I think she was a trooper. She stayed at it. And the resilience, the valor that I saw in so many of these people, it didn't matter that they thought they might lose. They tried till the end, and they worked hard. And Jackie, man, I don't know if you guys remember at the bar that night, we all kind of were spent that day, and we all had a nightcap at the bar and had a beer, and I bought a round, and Jackie came up to me in tears. And I was like, what's going on? Like, I just bought a beer for y'all. It's not that big of a deal. And she was just so touched. She's a really good lady, and I can't wait to have her on, Ron. Did you get to know her?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, she's gonna be definitely. On. I mean,
we got the Snyder family.
I definitely had.
Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, I think at one point all of us made our way around the crowd and we met everybody. And you might not have been the best of friends with everybody, but you still made that connection, because in this show, it was such a weird moment in time where we'll never do this again. You'll never be in a room with 100 people doing these type of challenges. And I mean, it was an experience that you can't duplicate, you can't relive, nothing. It was either you were there or you weren't. Now, when people watch it on TV and they see little clips of what happened, you'll never see the little personal interactions on the side where, like Peter gave you some advice. Hey, it'll be all right. Let's figure it out. I mean, the camera didn't really show those interactions between between
the camera doesn't show times that I'm breaking down, falling, and Peter's literally holding my body up and I'm crying into his shoulder. Part relief, part emotion. I don't know. Maybe they will show some of that stuff. This is a question for all three of you. Were there, you got back, did you get asked to do any of these games with people at your parish, at your congregation, at the firehouse, the fellow day traders? Are they like, come on, play me right now, nut stack this right now, pop this balloon with this rubber band? Did you get asked to compete? Jump in there.
I'll go for it. Oh, go ahead, Kara.
I've been asked by a few that we're going to set up. Well, honestly, I refused to do anything prior to the show starting just because, again, I didn't want to break any rules that I didn't know about. So I told them that as soon as the show started, we could have like different watch parties at different places. So I have a couple little like bars around the town that we're going to do some watch party shows and set up for the games at that point.
It'll be like play Kara. Kara in this game. I like it. Do you have a game that you're thinking about in mind?
I'm going to let them play dealer's choice. I like to say all the time I'm an athlete. So if I can take on strangers for $1 million, I can for sure take on the people that I already know their level.
Oh, damn, she just the whole city of Oklahoma City. Oh, yeah. Peter, how about you? You've been any youth group work? You've been using
actually, so I mean, obviously living in the UK, the show isn't licensed to be able to be viewed in the UK, which is fine. That's cool. But different people have different ways of seeing things at different times in different places. And the youth group, the local youth group in my town, it turns out I didn't even know this, but they're planning to play a game from 99 to beat every week at youth group. So actually just tonight, they played the spaghetti with the penne pasta game at youth group, and so they're having a blast with that, which is super dope.
Yeah, and super affordable, right? I mean, $2, right? And $1 for each, and you got the game. Ronald,
I actually made a joke, like all these games are like youth group games. I've been doing youth work since like 1999, which since the 20th century. That makes me super old. But like, I kind of joked, I've been training my whole life for this game show, man. They're all youth group games, all a bunch of fun, cheap, easy.
Peter,
anyone can win.
I apologize. I got a call here. Hold on. It's God. He said I'm in. He said I'm in. I'll be joining you, bro. Hey, Ronald, you been playing any of these games at the firehouse?
Well, I mean, guys are they're starting to really see it and talk about it now. So far we haven't played any games, but I can see in the near future, after a couple more episodes, I kind of think it's going to be a thing at the firehouse. I think a lot of guys are going to get into it and want to try different things.
Oh, man, they're going to be rubbing your face in it, man. I mean, they're going to, because a lot of times, it's a lot of intense work and drama and trauma, but then you're just kind of kicking it at the firehouse and a little bored at times, right? Oh, yeah. They're going to be trying to take you on all the time. Did I hear right last week? Are you headed for chief? Are you going to be chief of the fire department?
There's several chiefs. But okay. I'm getting close. I'll be a chief within the next year.
Okay, so this is going to happen and probable. So we're not just talking about some firefighter. We're talking about Ronald M.F. Mitchell, firefighter, Detroit firefighter. Big deal.
Safe, baby. Saving lives. Love it.
Yeah.
Was there any other? That was all the games.
That's all the games.
I wanted to make sure that I tell everybody the Snyder family, as many of the 12 as possible, are going to be on next week's edition of After the Games. The week after, as I said, is going to be Janice, who got knocked out first, Jackie, and Sarah Kay. And then after that, we got these episodes after all 10 episodes through the end of the show running into December. Chris, did you want to add something?
I just want to say, thank you guys for coming on. It's a lot of fun watching these first, couple episodes. Can't wait to see the rest of them. Kara, Peter, really cool to have you guys on the show. Good luck, the rest of the way. Ronald, Robert, always a pleasure. Just an awesome thing. We're going to be doing this, like Robert said, every week for 99 to Beat after the games. This is the official reaction show. We'll also be cutting these up into tighter recaps. So look out for the, all the clips and everything we put out. But guys, stay awesome.
Where can we find it, Chris?
And you can find it on all the platforms. So anywhere you really kind of listen or watch your podcast, YouTube, subscribe is the best way to watch the show in its entirety. But if you want to listen to it, it's on the majority of the other podcast platforms. So make sure to look for 99 to Beat after the games. You can search for that. Be sure to like, follow, subscribe, all the good stuff. And we just appreciate you guys coming on.
And real quick, everybody give us your handles. Chris is the owner and producer of King Creative out of Wilmington, Delaware. They do amazing work. Check King Creative out. Formerly Bruce Productions, but he was also a former mascot, current mascot still. I don't know if we can talk about those roles or not, but we've known each other since our University of Delaware days back in the 90s as we were UD. Peter, where can we find your sermons? YouTube?
If you search up St. John's North Homewood, HOLMWOOD on Facebook, we broadcast our Sunday morning services live so that anybody and everybody can tune in if they want to. So search up St. John's Church North Homewood.
Ronald, I know you're in witness protection and you don't have any social media. No, I'm sorry. Come on, Ronald. You're on Insta, right? That's what the kids call it.
Yeah, I'm on Instagram, just Ronald L. Mitchell, or Facebook. I think I'm R Mitch 330.
I love it. I think.
There you go. And Robert, just so you know, and all the lower third graphics had their handles in them throughout the show. We'll make sure to put all of it in the show description as well, so we can add any links you guys want to that.
I just want Kara to give it
Kara,
a chance.
how are you?
Okay, mine's just Kara Bollock on Instagram and Twitter, and the Kara Lee on TikTok.
And I am a realtor these days, so you can find me at clutchcityrealtor.com, serving the greater Houston area. I don't work 9 to 5. I work start to finish, and I do your home work for you.
There you go. Hey, nice. if you need a jingle, Robert is forcing me to play ours as a little thing, so I'm going to play it because he's pushing me to do it.
Yes, I am.
Suffer through, enjoy. I'll see you on the other side of it. We'll close things out right after this.
You have a story you need to tell, a product, a dream that you want to sell. Music to film, commercials, TV, creative consulting, documentaries. Dare to be seen, call King Creative today.
Thank you.
Goodness, what do you think, huh? A little catchy jingle. If you need one, we can produce one for you guys too. Stay awesome, like I said. We appreciate it. Tune into the next episode of 99 to Beat after the games. We'll be recapping episode 3 next week. Robert, Peter, Kara, and Ronald, who's gone off to possibly get himself a beer. We'll see you next time. Stay awesome, everybody. We appreciate you.
Love you, Kara. Love you, Peter.
Thank you so much.
Love you guys, man.
Absolutely.
Wherever you are, Ronald, I love you too. Put out a fire and drink a beer for me.
All right, guys. Take care. Be sure to like, follow, and subscribe. 99 to Beat after the games is on all platforms, wherever you listen and watch your podcast.